It's time for AggroChat, the official podcast of the Tales of the Agronaut blog and stalwart gaming community, where we talk about stuff and things, and the stuff about the things, and sometimes gaming. I'm Belghast, and let's start the show.
Hey folks, it's that time again. Time for another episode of AggroChat. This is episode 530. Tonight I'm joined by Ashgar.
What?
Grace.
Hello.
Kodra.
It's me.
Tam.
Hey, Belle.
Thalen.
Hey there.
So we did not record last week, and I am going to be wildly frank and open about my life. My wife of almost 30 years passed away suddenly and unexpectedly last Wednesday. Well, technically 2 Wednesdays ago. This past Wednesday was the funeral. I am doing okay. I have a bajillion people checking in on me right now. I am mostly stable. However, I am prefacing this as a warning that if something hits me just wrong and I lose it tonight, I apologize to our listeners. It's a level of crushing grief that I've never experienced, but I am working through it. And I think more than anything, I needed to return to some semblance of normal, and recording a podcast on Saturday nights is normal for me.
Yeah.
So I appreciate everyone who has reached out. I have been overwhelmed. Several people are listeners that have reached out, so thank you very much. Yeah.
I am just very happy to be hanging out with Belle in whatever form it takes.
Yes.
Yep.
It's almost like a whole bunch of people like you, Bill.
I know. It is overwhelming. Because in all truth, I have long thought of myself as just kind of a person in the background, and that is apparently not the impression people have of me. So yeah, like it has been weird, and I am thankful.
We all love you very much.
Well, and I love you all very much as well. So I am gonna guess this thing is actually not called Stardew Pirates.
No, it is not called Stardew Pirates, but it essentially is Stardew Pirates.
I'm intrigued.
It's called Seablip, and it's still in early access, but it is very much Stardew Pirates. You get a ship. You have a sad story about your grandpa, and then you can farm a little bit, but mostly you get in your ship and you go out on the high seas and attack other ships and have a variety of adorable little weapons and crew members. And my favorite so far is a fish tank with an octopus in it, and every once in a while one of your crew attaches the octopus to a balloon and it flies over to the other ship and lands on somebody's head. It's great.
That's amazing.
So at some point I was like, wait a second, is this somebody who remembers that Uncharted Waters New Horizons existed? Because it's kind of sounding like that.
I gotta try this game.
I don't really know what that was, but
It is a game for the Super Nintendo.
Yes.
And it is a game in which you can play one of 6 seafaring captains in the exploration age, and there's the whole world map, and everyone has different objectives, but there's a bunch of characters, and you're forging relationships, you're doing sea trade routes and stuff, upgrading your ship, upgrading your fleet.
I mean, it's certainly has some similarities. I think this is very much focused on you as your little individual character, and then the rotating crew that you can hire and level up. But you can only, as far as I have gotten, which is not super far, but I've only been able to control one ship at a time.
Mm.
You can have multiple ships, but you put one of them in a ship in a bottle while you're not using it.
Yeah, you're like a more pirate captain than like seafaring admiral of a fleet.
Yeah, like Uncharted Waters, I think, was a Koei Tecmo game, wasn't it?
I think you're right. Yeah.
I believe so.
And there was also one for the Nintendo.
Yes.
But like the Super Nintendo one was way more detailed than the Nintendo one.
It still, looking back, feels ahead of its time.
It was kind of like, what if Civ and like Final Fantasy Tactics had a child kind of feeling?
Anyways, I'm gonna have to check out Seablip. This sounds delightful.
Yeah, what is this? What was the name of it again?
Seablip. CBLIP.
Like SEA.
Yes, SEA.
Okay. Oh my god, this looks incredible.
And it really looks, cute little, pixel art.
I was unprepared for this to be a 2D game.
Oh yeah,
it's this. No, I'm immediately buying this.
It's very much what if Stardew Valley, but you're a pirate. And I've been thoroughly enjoying it. It's definitely still early access. It definitely feels like there's some things that need to be fleshed out a little bit more. But the basic loop of it is really fun. I really enjoy the fact that with the ship combat, depending on how you defeat the other ship influences the loot. There's a system where you basically have a chance to salvage the weapons or gear from the ships that you defeat. And so you can either just sink the ship and then you have a lower chance of getting stuff, or you can kill all of the crew and leave the ship intact, and then you have a better chance of actually stealing their weapons and things. So it adds a little extra intrigue to relatively simple combat.
I'm getting some FTL vibes here.
So anyway, it's pretty cheap, and I would recommend checking it out. I suspect most folks will sort of mess around with it for a little while, but since it's early access, they keep adding more things to it. So I think it's going to be one of those kinds of games where I'm going to just keep coming back to it every once in a while to see what's been added and updated. But it's super cute, it's super charming, and gives me all of the pirating that I need in my daily life.
So, of the social media platforms I am on, one of which is Tumblr, and because I am on Tumblr, I know two things. DashCon 2.0 was a rousing success and offered a redemption arc for the first DashCon, and
I'm very happy for them.
KPOP Demon Hunters is blowing up. So, like, this is a Netflix movie. Hopefully it eventually becomes a series. And essentially it's what if the KDA pop star video was made into a full-length movie, but with like different characters, because this isn't Riot Games. So the gist of this movie is every so often there is a idol group that protects the world from demons by rousing the spirits of their fans in order to weave this protective net across the world, so that the demons can't harm humans. And they are, this time around it is a idol group called Huntrix, and there is the legacy idol character, there is the bad girl character, there is the street smart rapper character.
Oh boy.
It's just charming. Like, it is so ridiculously charming.
So, like, what if Buffy and the Scoobies were K-pop idols?
Yes, exactly.
I mean, it's a K-pop idol five girl band.
No, it's three. And they are up against a demon 5 boy band.
Oh boy.
Amazing.
It's so good. And like the songs are all bangers. So like they're getting a lot of play on whatever platforms play songs. But apparently they have been working on this for like 9 years and it is finally out. But again, like if you liked KDIA Popstar the video, you will probably like this show because it's just more of that.
I mean, yes,
Okay.
I have been just seeing this all over Blue Sky art, like the art Blue Sky.
This is so wild to me because the only place, like, I'm just not in the same circles apparently, because the only place that I've seen it is as the recommended shows for on my daughter's Netflix account.
It is totally appropriate for your daughter. Like,
Which is
it is there is violence, but it's like cartoony violence. So
yeah. Okay. Because yeah, she's like,
it's super charming. It is very girl powery. Like
it's like you've watched Gabby's Dollhouse and My Little Pony and Spider-Man and Friends. Therefore, you should watch K-pop Demon Hunters. And I was like, maybe.
Like, it's not as good as the modern She-Ra, but like it's kind of adjacent in goodness.
I
like,
mean,
it's
I would probably not put modern She-Ra as like 4-year-old television.
No, it is not. It is not. But I'm saying, like, this is an equally good experience. Like, it is not as multidimensional as She-Ra or Steven Universe or something like that, but it is equally good. It's just way more K-pop. I highly suggest you watch it. You will probably watch it more than once. It is cute. But also, like, every Tumblr and Blue Sky artist seems to be obsessed with this, so, like, it's all over the place.
I mean, this sounds like it would appeal to the same folks who are really into Jim and the Holograms, so...
Yes.
Minecraft
Dungeons Apocalypse. Is this an expansion?
Yep. No, this is just like... The end game is called Apocalypse.
Okay, so kind of like Torment or something like that.
Yeah. So we've now beaten everything on adventure, and like I am properly in the quote unquote end game of Minecraft Dungeons with my son, and it's been a pretty wild experience. Like I'm kind of coming around to maybe Minecraft Dungeons is just the best ARPG. Like it's definitely simpler. So like the thing, like there's a little bit. It's the complexity I think I'm missing is like there is no class. There's no like class or skill tree progression, but the loot is rather complicated in that like there is going to be a whole bunch of different base items, and those bases will then have 3 potential affixes that you can apply to them. Although some only have 1, some only have 2, and some have like slots for 3. Then there are unique items, which are going to be like those base items, but with additional like pre-slotted affixes. And then there are gilded versions of those items, which is basically that same item, but with another set of like like affixes randomly rolled as implicits, which makes the item like necessarily more powerful than a non-gilded version, but also means it costs more XP to put into your enchantments, because the only thing your like character level actually determines is how much enchantment points you can put into juicing your item's current affixes. But like this just means like, hey, like everything rolls on the ground. I don't have to like take it back to camp and identify it. So I can just look at an item and be like, oh, this item has these sets of affixes, has these sets of implicits. Like I can start to think about where this would go in a build. And there are so many interesting builds.
Well, that was the thing that I remember from playing it, is that mostly your build is whatever items you have equipped.
It is definitely whatever items you have equipped, but like the items are really impactful in a way that I wasn't necessarily appreciating at the start. And there's a whole bunch of ways to like craft items. Like there are ways to take the like affixes you're offered and re-roll them. And then there's ways of like, if you get an item that is good at low levels, you can just keep chucking it in the blacksmith, and then after 3 missions, you'll be able to get it back at an appropriate eye level for what you're looking for.
That's a really good system.
Yeah, so like items really do matter. They're not just completely disposable. And there's a gifting system. Like if you get an item that's really good for the person you're playing with, you can just go ahead and gift it to them and they can start using it. And when you gift it, it re-rolls that item to their appropriate item level. Like, and it's great for couch co-op because you can just play with anyone else. You can play 2 people on the same console. It's great.
Does it just do split screen, or are you just both on the same screen?
You're both on the same screen.
Okay.
And like the maps are interesting. There's a whole bunch of like branches that lead off to like little mini dungeons. And there's a couple of like there's like additional interesting like, so like gold, the thing that you get used to craft items, requires you to like go on these ancient hunts where you're sacrificing items, and the items you sacrifice determine like the type of enemies that are going to show up in that zone. And so even items that you don't necessarily care for, you might care because they're good fodder for the ancient hunts.
So you're essentially seeding your map based on what you've sacrificed.
Yes, and you sacrifice like a full set's worth of gear. So you sacrifice the equipment you get is you have slots for 1 armor, 1 melee weapon, 1 ranged weapon, and then 3 artifacts. You sacrifice only one artifact, thankfully, but you sacrifice those 4 items, and then the items like have runes on them, and then what runes you are sacrificing show up what enemies you get. And if you sacrifice things that you've invested levels in, this is the only way that you can de-level a character. You will get de-leveled though, because like they will take that experience and get rid of it. I have not done this because I am still on the like upward level trajectory myself. I still don't have enough. I still don't have enough enchantment points to like fully kit out myself. But spending enchantment points, there are so many different ways to get your enchantment points back, so it's easy to like rebuild yourself. Usually, thanks to like the gift wrap, the blacksmith, and the salvage mechanics. I do think this game is just wildly better with a second player, though.
Yeah, like I played quite a bit of this single player, and there were a few rough spots where it was kind of, the difficulty was spiky, where you would go into a place and it was just like overwhelmingly difficult as compared to where you were just at.
Yeah, there's definitely, I mean, the differentiation of mobs is pretty big in this game as well. Like as opposed to Path of Exile, like at some point all of the mobs are just like, that's a mob, I'm gonna just steamroll over it and not really pay attention to what it does. That is not true in this game. I know every single time that there's a creeper on the screen. Because I'm going to be somehow dealing with that at range so it doesn't explode in my face. Or I'm going to figure out if I can safely melee the creeper before it explodes. Or
yeah, the special types like really make a difference.
Yeah, like anything that drops ground targeted AoEs, like AoE dots, ooh, those are scary. You definitely know to deal with them. And then like one of the enemy types is an enchanter, and all it does is like enchant other mobs and buff them up. So like they usually try and stay behind a wall of other enemies, and it's important to kill them. And this is also the first game, like, wallers seem very common in a lot of ARPGs, and I feel like ARPGs mostly allow you to ignore wallers. This game does not. When somebody is coming up and putting like towers down to get in your way, not only does it block your movement, it blocks all of your projectiles as well. So they are very annoying to deal with. But like, I think that's good. I think a lot of ARPGs don't properly differentiate their mob types, and this game really does, and you really know exactly like, what am I looking for in the middle of a fight that I need to go and deal with. Like I know I need to like target prioritize certain things, as opposed to like a lot of ARPGs. The goal is to get to the point where you just are wave clearing your full screen clearing the whole time, right?
Right. And I don't remember having any abilities that gave me that kind of coverage, that like I was having to deal with things way more up close and personal.
I mean, the closest you'll get is something like the Corrupted Beacon, but it is a spell that is constantly consuming your soul resource. And it's also an item on us. It's a very short cooldown, but like it'll drain your effectively mana reserves very fast. And you're probably going to need to be spec'd into being a like spellcaster, trying to make sure you're gaining all of that mana back very quickly, which is the build I'm currently running, and it's very fun. But I should say, even that one, I have a real problem if enough wallers are like giving coverage, because I can't use my Corrupted Beacon through walls. I have done some research. We are currently at item level around like high 80s, low 90s, and this game goes up to item level 251. So I don't think I want to try and get us there, because that sounds like probably too much of this game. But maybe over time we'll keep playing it.
It's a very specific number.
It is.
I don't fully understand. It's not like 251 is a like mathematical limit either. This is like the level that they capped out Apocalypse 2 plus 25. There you can get slightly higher item levels, but only if you do the tower and you're already at that item level. And the tower is their roguelike play, where you start with basically nothing, and each floor you clear, you get a new item, and like slowly you build up power until you see if you can beat the end boss. That's a good way of getting items that are both gilded and above your current tier of power.
Okay. What is Sunderfolk? I think we've talked about this, but I'm drawing a blank.
I don't think we've actually had a podcast since I started actually playing it. I may have mentioned it previously. Sunderfolk is a sort of a turn-based strategy RPG. That's sort of its general gameplay. But its big gimmick is that it is a shared screen game. You have, one main screen, then everybody else has their own device. A phone, generally.
So this is the game that was like the other game we tried to play.
Yeah.
But is also remote friendly, not just couch co-op.
Unaltered but remote friendly, yes.
Remote friendly is doing a lot of work, but
I mean, you literally couldn't play Eon Alter unless you were in the same room. So
yes, that was the reason why like we never actually played it as a group.
Yeah.
So like this works over, say, Discord screen sharing.
Right.
It's a lot of fun. Like, it feels like it has looked at a bunch of different games and blended them in some really thoughtful ways. In addition to just being its own fun thing. Like, I've made the joke several times that it feels like somebody took a look at Gloomhaven and decided that also Baldur's Gate 3 was really fun. And, like, the very, very first thing it teaches you is you can push enemies around. You know what's really fun? Pushing enemies around.
Mm-hmm.
It really is.
Zone denial is strong.
It's
It
just
is-
fun.
It's also real, like, that's the thing, is they have overloaded the movement mechanic so that you can move a square, or if you try and move into a square an enemy is in, you push them.
Or if you move into a square an ally is in, or a chest or something, you'll interact with it. Like movement points is basically how you interact with the world. Of course, you can also attack things. Each character, there are 6 character classes, and each of them has their own unique mechanic and also their own unique cards. So they play wildly differently.
Yeah. Very Gloomhaven. But yeah, Ash has it like dead on. They all feel different.
We were not super far in. Do you ever get to like swap out your main action cards?
Yes.
Okay. That also seems like it's going to be very fun once you're able to do that.
It doesn't take long, as I recall.
Literally one more mission, yes.
Okay.
And they're like legitimately difficult choices.
It's not like any of them become useless. It's just that maybe I want this one at this particular moment.
The other nice thing about this is, so one of the things that you can do is like your characters like talk to the various townsfolk around town. And that is something that happens during a town phase in which you control your character and like you're having conversations like between your character and other townsfolk that are not necessarily like the relationships that other people are forging. So it feels like your character is a little bit more unique and detached from like the overall concept of the party.
I will say, playing this in a group with everybody having one character makes it much easier to take care of town phases. It feels a little weird when you have to have 2 characters and remember which ones have which relationships with which people, and
yeah.
that's currently my only real criticism. Like taking care of multiple characters during town phases is kind of cumbersome.
Yeah.
Do you have to have 2 characters if there's like only 2 players?
No, you can do it with just two heroes.
Ah, got it.
But we did have 2 heroes each the first time we tried, and that is cool. And during battle, it's like this works, but during town phases, it works less well.
Yeah, it's sort of a lot of checklisting. Did you do all of these things with all of these characters? Did you remember who you need to talk to on which character? I do really like the go off and do your own thing town phase that doesn't require like anybody else to pay attention or be involved. Like that's a really clever solution. It shows you, like on the big screen, it shows you where everybody is, and that's all you really need. Because eventually everybody groups up at the gates and you pick your next mission.
You must gather your party before venturing forth.
A thing that I have not seen yet, 'cause we did 2 combat missions, but we haven't done any puzzle missions. I'm curious what the puzzle missions look like.
Same.
Is it just that you didn't get one, or
We just
No, there are 3 missions
Take
presented
one.
at the very start.
Okay.
We've done 2 of the 3.
Yeah.
But also, like, of the characters I've seen, I think the Pyromancer is probably my favorite.
That Pyromancer is adorable. I love that Pyromancer.
Pyromancer is an adorable salamander who, instead of being damaged by fire on the ground, absorbs it and powers up his spells that way.
It's like a big version of the Fire Spirit from Frozen 2. It's great. It's an incredible design.
And wow, is this character destructive if they have any time to like just build up.
Oh, it's wild.
I wish
Yeah.
they had anything in the way of defenses, but I guess we'll get there eventually.
I'm playing the Bird Wizard, which combines basically all of my favorite things. Like I move around in weird ways. I move enemies around in weird ways. And if I'm going to be an anthropomorphic animal, it's going to be either a bird or a turtle or a frog. And they don't give me the latter 2 options. So bird time.
I am playing the Ranger. I do think the Ranger's probably a little bit more simplistic. My whole thing is I want to attack things from range 3 or greater, and a lot of my attacks are like maximum range 3, I would probably like the attack I like the most is the like line 5 AoE I have.
That one's real good.
It's really good. It does mean like I'm pretty interested in replacing my basic shot to start with, even though it's a little bit more powerful than that because it's 4 damage versus 3.
Yeah, but it's 3 damage and exposed 2. So the next time somebody hits them,
I thought it was only exposed 1.
yeah, but if they're more than 3 away, the range 3 or more.
Oh, interesting. Yeah. Anyways, my general thought is I probably am going to want to get rid of that for something else. But I do enjoy it, and I would probably be interested in trying other characters. But I do like it because it's like a gazelle, which is the closest there is to a deer in this game.
I like
There is a bear. I was playing the bear also last time.
With a big hammer. A bear with a big hammer.
Bear with the big hammer is very cool and very good. I just like bouncing around with the pyromancer too much.
Yeah, I understand.
The other one that I played is the Weasel Rogue.
Yeah, the rogue.
The rogue is also really fun. Like the rogue's special thing is if you are not adjacent to anything at the end of your turn, you are, and if you're sneaky, you miss like the first attack against you misses, I think. But also you get a bunch of benefits if you are sneaking. Like a bunch of your attacks like key off of are you stealthy?
And if you murder someone from stealth, then surprise, you're probably isolated at the end of your turn.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And it's got a bunch of like really interesting mobility. Like one of my favorite abilities is all the abilities are sort of structured in lines. So you'll have an ability that's like move 3, attack 3, or move 3, attack 2, push 3 or something. And one of the rogues has like 7 lines because it's, attack 2, teleport 2, attack 2, teleport 2, attack 2, teleport 2, attack 2, teleport 3. Like just a bajillion movements and moves and stabs. And it's very satisfying.
So Flicker Strike.
Yeah.
Flicker Strike or get your Nightcrawler in, yeah.
It's really cool. I want to play it like chilling on the couch in front of a TV because I feel like that's the perfect.
It did come out for basically all consoles.
Yeah, like I'm probably gonna pick this up for PS5 and play it on the big TV because it's super adorable that way. I don't know if it's on. Is it on the Switch?
I don't know, but I don't think so.
Okay.
I picked it up for the Steam, but I did get the Steam Deck dock recently, which works great.
Same.
Highly recommend the Steam Deck dock if you're interested in having the ability to play Steam games directly on a big TV. And this is a great way for me to expose my son to a whole bunch of new games. And the ability to expose them to modded games.
Sunderfolk is out on Steam as well. Or Switch as well.
Oh, nice. That might be a Switch 2 pickup.
Okay, so this next game I am really interested in, Sky Children of Light, because I have a couple friends that worked on it, but when it originally was paying attention to it, it was mobile only, and I know now it's like on lots of different platforms. So how is this game?
So I picked this up for reasons. And basically, it is a spiritual successor to Journey, made by the people who made Journey.
Yep.
And it has the same kind of delight and vibe that Journey has. Like the best Journey experience is one where you're kind of just going with the flow and moving through their big, like beautiful in a minimalist sort of way environments and having, weird things happen to you and kind of you've got this sort of joy of motion, but also like appreciation for how you're moving through the space and you're looking for things. And this game is very much all of that. It's got a really, it's got that this art style would be so creepy if it were trying to do anything creepy with it, but instead it's just kind of like quietly adorable. And like I don't it tells you things, unlike Journey. Like it actually is telling a story that I struggle to convey the premise of. Like you're going around and rescuing spirits of a post-apocalyptic land. I don't know, but you're bringing the light to people who need it and learning about what came before in the process. Kinda. I mean, you get to see like as you help shepherd spirits, you get to see like things about them, and at least thus far the spirits I've rescued or the spirits I've I don't know shepherded along, hard to say, have sort of had it's like conveying their life experiences, and then their life experiences sort of coalesce into an emote that I can use, but they're like, and that feels so reductive because they're like actually emblematic of what you're seeing. Like there's somebody who's like there's somebody who's like past that you see is kind of seeing something crash out of the sky and going to go find out what it was and having that be important to them. And the emote you get is the like, hey, come over here, because they're gesturing to somebody else, and that's kind of like a big piece of how it all plays out. And like that's then an emote that you can use and communicate with other players, because you can't communicate with other player or if there's text chat, I've never seen it. I think there's some, I don't think you can like just straight text chat with other players. You communicate through these sort of elaborate animations, and it's got a system where you can level up your friendships with people and in so doing get more like shared communication options. And like one of the earliest ones you get, and I love this, it's so it's such an interesting twist on something I'm really familiar with, but like one of the first things you get is the ability to hold out your hand, and the ability to take somebody's hand that's held out. And if you do, then you're holding hands with somebody and they can lead you somewhere. So not only is auto follow in the game, they've made it into a opt-in consensual system that's also really like cute and satisfying. It's like, oh, you can, if you want to show somebody something, you'd be like, you can hold out your hand and just lead them, and like it feels really like tactile and thoughtful.
Yeah, like the part that I thought was interesting was the whole non-combat MMO aspect of it.
Yeah. Like it's not without conflict. It's just that you're not fighting anything. Anyway, I've just been like calmly wandering through it and seeing what it has, and like you can sort of more intentionally opt into playing with people, and I think that might also be cool.
That was kind of not really a thing in Journey.
No, it wasn't. And in Journey, there was something beautiful about that, because it's so constrained your communications that, like, I don't know, Journey lives rent free in my head because it was so good at putting me in the same space with another completely random player and making me love that experience. Like, and it was so poignant that without being able to use text chat, I had the batteries in my controller die. Did not have any more at home, and ran out to the store to get new batteries. And when I got and left made a bunch of distressed sort of sounds because I like couldn't move, and then froze. And when I came back, like the person I had randomly run across was just like, waiting there and just hanging out. And then when I like moved again, like they visibly like you could see them like perk up and make a few sounds, and then we just kept going. And it was like a 20-minute interlude with somebody who I know nothing about, other than they happened to be playing Journey at the same time I was.
And we're patient.
Yeah, and we're patient. And like if they needed to, and it happened later where it was like they needed to, I assumed to go to the bathroom or something, but they made a similar kind of like pattern of noises that were like, hey, hold up for a moment, and I just chilled. And I can't think of any other game where somebody I had known for like less than an hour, I would just hang around for like 15 minutes, 20 minutes. I'm just so fascinated at that game company's like approach to the concept of player interaction.
What is Cauldron?
That's a good question. So this game is an RPG, but it's also like an idler, and it also is just a bunch of mini games all just kind of smushed together in a really weirdly compelling way.
I think the only thing I've seen about this game previously is its massive skill tree.
Yeah. It's definitely a game for people who like getting skill points and putting them in a tree. Um, so you have a map, and most of the map is covered with darkness, and you can walk around, and for any given little subsection of the darkness, you click on it and you can start what is sort of a normal RPG sort of battle. And that's fun. And as you explore the map, you know, open it up and you can find more people to join your party. This is all normal. But the primary way that you get skill points for yourself and for your party is to complete some mini games, which are, they seem very straightforward and charming, and they all also have their own skill trees. And so, for example, they're like the very first mini game that I tried, there's only a few, but the very first one I tried was, you know, a little cute game where you have a basket on your head and you run around underneath of an apple tree catching apples, right? Like cute little mini game. But by the time I have now put many points in the skill tree for this game, now my companion has a giant basket, so I don't have to worry about catching the apples. And in fact, the game has turned into essentially a bullet hell shooter. Just
Okay.
Is this Frog Fractions in disguise?
Maybe but like it was just very smoothly transitioned as I put a point here, there. Okay, well, now I have a bigger basket. Great. Oh, now I have a broom and I can fly up and down and catch the apples better. Great. Now I have a little gun that shoots the poison apples. Great. And just like every upgrade just changed what this mini game was. So it's now an entirely different game. And it's just been extremely delightful.
This is
Uh,
wild.
yeah, like
This looks wild, yeah. I'm not sure about Frog Fractions, but one of these NPCs looks to just be Frog from Chrono Trigger. So, sold.
yeah, it is delightful. It has some kind of a story. One of the things, as I've, you know, opened up a little bit more of the map, I discovered an empty town, and to find the townsfolk, they're disguised as random objects on the map, so I'm going around looking for those. But I said it was also sort of an idler because your ghost companion will gather resources for you. So each of the mini games gives you a resource, and you can either spend them to level up the mini game skill tree, or you can put them in the cauldron to get talent points for yourself and your party. And your ghost companion will go out and collect these resources on its own, like an idle game. And the catch is that the rate that it's gathering is based on your high score for the minigame. So if you got a high score of 100 apples in the apple game, then every time your companion goes out, it's going to bring back 100 apples. It's very clever and extremely cute. But yeah, essentially there's an apple minigame, a fishing minigame, a mining minigame, and then the actual like combat, which is surprisingly fun. And each of the little zones of darkness is marked so you know exactly what you're going to be fighting and how tough it is. So you can wait until you're overpowered, or you can do things a little underleveled and have a challenge. It's been surprisingly great. It popped up on Steam for me, and I thought it looked cute, and now I am obsessed.
I just got through immediately purchasing and installing Seablip. Now I am immediately purchasing and installing.
I know.
Your track record for games you get me to buy immediately is very high.
I mean, my mindset lately, I have not been in a place where I have been able to focus on deep, story heavy, extremely thoughtful games. I am very much here for something really cute and entertaining. And yeah, these are the two that have been captivating me lately. But this one just it threw me for a loop because it is doing some really interesting things, and in the way that the game is changing around me as I level up the many, many skill trees.
Oh, and Frog is like the first NPC you meet. Yay!
Mhm.
I'm happy.
Yes, yeah, you should have no problem meeting Frog and getting Frog in your party. So yeah, very cute, very easy to pick up and put down, but also really weirdly compelling.
Breaking through in Guild Wars 1.
Oh my god. So I've been on the same. I checked this recently. I've been on the same quest in Guild Wars 1 since 2009 because I have brainworms and can't bring myself to play the later campaigns until I've finished or at least gotten appreciably far into the first campaign. Which is incorrect. Like, let me be very clear. Like, if you're going to jump into Guild Wars 1 under any circumstances, like, the correct thing is not to try to play Prophecies.
Yeah, it's not good.
But like I said, I have brainworms, and I can't not do that. And so I've been beating my head against, like, just things that I didn't realize were important. Like, oh, hey, at some point the game goes from being a 4-person party to a 6-person party, but doesn't tell you that this is the case, and I had never figured it out. So I've been trying to do all of these story missions with a third of my party missing.
Oops.
Which is not which is compounding the fact that, like, if you're playing it solo, you have generally underleveled and not very good henchman companions, which they've gotten a lot better about now. And so Ash ran me to Lion's Arch, which I was a lot closer to than I realized. But once I got there, it was like, oh, okay, now I can have, like, abilities and usable hench people. Actually set up my party in a way that is functional and isn't the one healer who you get that does the equivalent of being a discipline priest that only spams like greater heal. And so it's like, oh, okay, I can actually play this game now. And I've gone from I'm stuck on this one mission and have been forever to I've burned through it and the next 3 missions in like nothing flat. And I have a suite of abilities that reminds me why I find this game so compelling. it's a really interesting game. It's doing a lot of really interesting things, and a lot of really interesting things that like have mostly been forgotten. I did make a you basically make your own custom heroes, and heroes have a lot more like customizability than baseline henchmen in that they have any at all. And so I was able to make some guy whose job is just the worst imaginable job. It's another Mesmer whose only job is to put hexes on things so that I can strip them off and deal a bunch of damage in so doing. They're just like my hex caddy. But it means that I get to experiment with party dynamics and just a bunch of things that I would never have gotten to otherwise. And it's fun. Also been slowly picking up and playing that one Guild Wars animation about Cormier alongside Ash, which should be entertaining. We haven't gotten very far yet.
One of these days I am going to return to it and actually make progress, but I always peter out after a little while.
Yeah.
I cannot fully explain how much I hate that I can't jump.
It's not great.
Because like really the game kind of plays like a weird ARPG, just with a weird camera angle. But like I have made so many attempts over the years to play this game, and they all never really make it terribly far, even though I played it when it first released.
Yeah, I've come back and forth to it so many times in unsuccessfully.
Speaking of games I unsuccessfully returned to, I made a stab at playing Borderlands 3 again. And I do not know what is wrong with that game, but there's just something wrong with the game. Like the gunplay doesn't feel as crisp as the previous games, and also the story kind of feels like a photocopy of a photocopy of a photocopy.
Oh.
There isn't really like the call to action that happens is not really telling you the story, but telling you about a story that's already happened that you're supposed to know, kind of thing. And I don't know what's wrong, why the game doesn't feel good, because in theory, like it should at least be as good as the second one was, but it feels too derivative at this point. And I was actually like vaguely interested in Borderlands 4, which is why I thought I would give another attempt at playing Borderlands 3. But so far, I have mostly bounced.
I sort of feel like they lost the magic when they lost their writers.
This definitely feels like a game that did not have the correct writers or was trying to rely too much on member berries. Because like, oh look, you're working for Lilith now, but like also the game doesn't really go out of its way to explain who the hell Lilith is. It also doesn't have a terribly good intro, because like that's always been one of the strong things about Borderlands games is the music video intro.
Yes.
And this one is just like, yeah, some stuff happened, and now you're also going to do some stuff. Yay! Here's a bandit that wipes poo off his foot and gets hit by a truck. Sweet. Marcus does not give a good intro this time. And like also even when the game starts, it just kind of feels like it takes a while before things really get started, and Claptrap is more annoying than normal. Maybe I've just outgrown that series.
No, I mean, I don't know. Back to this series lost it when it lost its writers. Borderlands 2 was just phenomenal writing. And like it got you engaged, and it like things were goofy, but they balanced goofiness with like sincerity and like heart-wrenching moments. And I was like, it's really hard.
It had a broad emotional palette that it was painting with.
Like you hated Handsome Jack, but like in the way that you did not like. I can't think of many villains in a video game that I really just hated like I hated Handsome Jack.
Yeah, like this game has got like this pair of twins that are organizing all the bandits, and like we're supposed to dislike them, but so far I've not been given any reason why. They're bad and they're taking over. Okay? I have no personal investment in why I should care about tracking them down or why I'm helping Lilith in the first place. I'm just suddenly on her team.
I mean, yeah, you're on her team because she's Lilith, right? Like, obviously,
Yeah.
you know
Apparently,
who Lilith
yes.
is. Well, so that was okay. So game one, the writing was also very interesting in that it presented itself much more straight.
Yes.
Like you are like there is a mysterious person who needs your help, and you get to the end of the game, and it's like you got completely snowed this whole game. Like everything, like you bought hook, line, and sinker into the "you're the chosen one" story that you got fed by this person talking to you. And that was a really effective moment of like, this is kind of what Borderlands is. Like it's like nothing's quite clean. I don't know. I feel like there was depth and subtlety to the writing before. I haven't even played Borderlands 3. I played the pre-sequel and was like, oh, this is it's unplayable. Like
Right, like no, this is basically more of the pre-sequel. Like it is too much or too little butter spread over too much bread.
And it's like, I don't know, like it's really hard because you tell people that one of the best stories you've ever played in video games is the Tiny Tina Dungeons and Dragons expansion. And it's like, yeah, it was really, really good writing. It was really that good. And Borderlands used to have that, and then it didn't. It turns out writers matter.
I think it's partly also because like the writing was so crucial because it was writing a really tight line where on the one side it's a fairly sharp commentary. It's a fairly sharp satire. And on the other side it's a Bloodhound Gang song. And like that's a tough needle to thread.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and it was really firing on all cylinders with the second one, especially because it had really tight gunplay, really fast intro to action. You're not like really wading through just mountains of dialogue. You're kind of getting into the action and you're being told the story through your actions and also voiceover while you're doing things. And then on top of all of that had really interesting item design. So it was working on all levels.
Yeah. Two is such a challenge for me because it was a great story and the gameplay hated me personally.
Yeah.
Like the specific way that I loved playing the first game, the second one was like, absolutely not. You cannot do this. We are going to punish you as hard as possible without actually taking this option out of the game.
Well, and they still have a million things that have perfect awareness of where you're at that either run up on you or immediately fire on you.
I'm not even worried about that. Never even really bothered me. I didn't really play Borderlands. I never played Borderlands as a stealthy sort of game. Because
that
I
sort
was
of also interferes with the whole sniping thing.
Right.
Yeah.
You can't really snipe in this game. That's what I meant by that.
Yeah, and like you could in the first one, but the second one was like no, and everything from there was just even less so. Like why did you even put sniper rifles in this game?
Like everything seems to spawn in at exactly the same time and have awareness of where you're at.
Yeah. And jump around like crazy at high speeds.
Right. Like so either they are counter sniping you or running up on your position.
But yeah, yeah, I have a distinct memory of playing through 2 with Kodra and Ash, and the entire latter half of the game, they were like super excited about their new talents and new tools, and like I stopped getting new interesting tools like a third of the way into the game and never got any changes. And it was just a And like the story was the thing that kept me playing it because it was good. But like as soon as I played the pre-sequel, it was like, oh, not only do we hate your particular playstyle, but also the writing isn't here to keep you. Like I was out. I hear shotguns are fun though. I'm sad that they haven't found the sauce again.
I mean, like everything that I've seen about 4 makes that look interesting, but also I don't know that I have the faith after revisiting this again.
Yeah.
We're starting to run short on time. Either of these last 2 topics short?
No.
Okay. I didn't think so. So those will get bumped. So one thing that's like a really quick thing that I'll say is contrary to all of the weird press that I'm seeing about it, the Superman movie was pretty great.
I hear it's very good.
Yeah, I heard it was fun.
It's
what I've heard
very
has been
DC
good.
comic booky.
I feel like this might be the time I finally care about Superman ever. I was chatting with Kodra recently, and Kodra's cynicism towards Star Trek is my cynicism towards Superman.
Like it's probably my favorite DC property that I've seen in a while. And I mean, I guess I'll say that it's not a Batman movie disconnected from anything else happening in the DC universe.
Right.
But like this is very much a DC universe Justice League movie, effectively. So
Justice Gang.
Justice Gang, yes, exactly. Guy Gardner was spot on. Like it's a less aggressive Guy Gardner, but it's still a Guy Gardner.
I mean, guy's cartoonishly asshole persona from the 80s might be a bit much.
Right.
He needs to have that core of like, okay, there's a reason this person is in fact a Green Lantern and one of the heroes, despite everything.
All of that.
I'm very interested to see Lanterns now and see him and Jon Stewart and
yeah
that interaction.
Mr. Terrific is amazing. Is spot on.
Yes.
Glad to see.
I love him so much.
Always glad to see Nathan Fillion getting work. And I haven't seen it yet. I'm really excited to see it. I've like the thing is good Superman is amazing, but it's very rare.
It's very few people understand Superman correctly to really write a Superman story that is truly good. I could go off on a whole diatribe about what people misunderstand about Superman. I will save that for some other time.
And it's not I have to say, it's not just the people making movies or anything about it. Comic book writers, a
lot of them mess him up too. Yes.
When you'll probably know this, when did Renee Montoya become the Question?
That was when 52 happened. Right around Infinite Crisis.
And I'm trying to remember if it was her or if it was Vic Sage. At some point, the Question goes to Metropolis, and it's like Superman, as soon as he sets foot on Metropolis, is whispering I know you're here, I'm monitoring everyone in my city, get out. And it's that's not Superman.
No, Superman is the superhero that occasionally criminals realize that if you want to make a plan and ensure that Superman isn't aware of it, you do it in a bathroom.
Superman is not the Panopticon.
No, he is not.
But he could be, and wouldn't it be interesting if he would? No.
And in fact, what's interesting about Superman is, yes, he could be, and he's not. And he knows that he could do that, and it would make his job easier, and maybe he could save more people. So why doesn't he do that? That's what's interesting about Superman. It's how is this character that has all these powers, how does he limit himself? And how does he still succeed and win despite the limitations that are entirely placed on him by himself?
See, that's compelling, and this is the thing that I like about this is the thing that I conceptually like about Jedi and Star Wars.
Mm-hmm.
Like, same sort of thing. It's like, okay, yes, you can do a bunch of stuff, but it's actually more interesting if you're not just like unleashed. Like, that's not actually the point.
Yeah, the conflict in a good Superman story isn't like the question isn't will he beat the villain? Will he win? The question is how will he do it and save everyone?
Right, exactly. Because like there are certain things he will not do because there is too high a risk of collateral damage, and he wants 0 death total.
Yes.
And the problem is there's this is where people are like this is a Superman story, and what most people angry about this really want is more Homelander stories.
Mm-hmm.
God.
Protect me from what if Superman were evil?
No thanks.
Like that is a thing that can be done well, but I'm of the opinion that the only time you're going to get a good what if Superman were evil story is when it's written by someone who truly understands Superman and can write a good Superman story. Mark Waid wrote an excellent series that was basically what if Superman was evil. It's called Irredeemable. It's fantastic. But also Mark Waid is arguably the finest writer of Superman, despite rarely getting to write Superman.
I mean, best evil Superman story is what, Brightburn or whatever that movie was called.
Also by James Gunn.
Yeah, also by James Gunn.
James Gunn getting out ahead of it and being like, see, no, I can do that. See, here, I can do that. Now, we've done that. It's over there. This is Superman. I mean, also, any superhero, their supporting cast is hugely important, and that often gets forgotten. I feel like Superman, more than most, the supporting cast is key. And the fact that they're actually in the movie.
So,
And
absolute
it's not
best,
just Lois and Jimmy.
Absolute best thing about this movie is, apart from Crypto being great, this is a movie with a competent Jimmy Olsen.
Good.
Like, a really competent Jimmy Olsen.
As he should be.
Yeah, I mean, definitely well worth a watch. I've seen like negative buzz about this, but like I don't know what they're talking about. I don't know what movie they want, but this is very much a DC comic booky movie. Like not one off, like a lot of the stuff that gets made into Batman movies is like one off side story things that get made into a Batman movie. Like this is core DC Comics,
Like this is part of the larger DC
world. With all the melodrama that comes with core DC Comics.
And I hope that means we are finally going to get like a solid cinematic DC universe, which is distinct from the Marvel Marvel Cinematic Universe. That's the thing. The DC Cinematic Universe should not be the Marvel Cinematic Universe. They're different. They have their own strengths. And that's the one thing that I'm, waiting to see. Like I have a decent bit of faith in James Gunn though. So
also there's a great Sean Gunn cameo.
I mean, of course.
Because of course there is. Anyway.
Look, Kirk has a lot of jobs.
Any other short topics? Okay. Well, hopefully you enjoyed the show, and we will see you again next week. Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
See you.